I am Anthony. For 12 years, I believed my life was a solid structure, built on the rock of my marriage to Winifred. I didn't know that insecurity is a termite that can eat a house from the inside out until the whole thing collapses with a single touch. The merger months at the office were grueling. As a senior partner, I was pulled into 18-hour days. Elena, my secretary, was the only one who could keep up. She was efficient, quiet, and lived on black coffee just like I did. To me, she was a teammate. To Winifred, she was a predator. One night, I came home at 11 p.m. The house was dark, except for a single lamp in the living room. Winifred was sitting there, holding my tablet. "Explain the Blueberry Cafe at 3 p.m. last Friday," she demanded. Her eyes were bloodshot. "I told you, Win. It was a quick lunch meeting with a client. Elena came along to take notes because my hands were full with the blueprints." "Notes?" Winifred stood up, her voice rising to a screech. "I drove by, Anthony. I saw you laughing. You don't laugh like that with me anymore. I saw her touch your arm when she handed you a folder. Was that in the job description? Does she touch you under the desk too?" "Winifred, you're being delusional," I groaned, heading for the stairs. She grabbed my sleeve, spinning me around. "I'm not crazy. I'm observant. I see the way you talk about her efficiency. You're in love with her, aren't you? You're waiting for me to get old and boring so you can jump into her bed." The accusations became a daily ritual. She once threw a glass of wine at me because Elena had called my phone after hours to report a flight cancellation. Another time, Winifred showed up at the office and screamed at Elena in the lobby, calling her a husband snatcher in front of the entire staff. The shame was unbearable. After 6 months of being treated like a criminal for a crime I hadn't committed, I gave up. When she handed me the divorce papers, she expected me to beg. Instead, I signed them in silence and walked out. The day I married Elena was the brightest day of my life. But as we stood at the altar, the doors swung open. Winifred stood there, looking like a shadow of the woman I once knew. "Anthony! I was wrong," she cried out. I told her she was too late. I didn't say it to be mean. I said it because it was the truth. You cannot burn a bridge and then expect to cross it when you realize the other side was safer. A year has passed since that day at the altar. My life with Elena is nothing like my life with Winifred. The most striking difference isn't the passion or the shared interests, it's the peace. We live in a small house with large windows. This morning, I was running late for a board meeting. I was frantically searching for my briefcase while Elena sat at the breakfast nook, scrolling through her own work emails. "Elena, have you seen my laptop bag? I think I left it in the car," I called out. "It's by the shoe rack, Tony. I moved it so you wouldn't trip," she said, not even looking up. In the old days, if I couldn't find something, Winifred would suspect I had hidden it to go meet someone. If I was in a rush, she'd ask who I was hurrying to see. With Elena, there is a fundamental layer of trust that feels like oxygen. You don't notice it until it's gone, but once you have it, you can finally breathe. Last month, we had a company gala. It was the same hotel where Winifred had once caused a scene. I felt a knot in my stomach as we walked in. Elena noticed my grip tighten on her hand. "You're okay," she whispered. "I'm your wife, not your warden." We spent the evening laughing with colleagues. When I had to step away to talk to the CEO, Elena didn't track me with her eyes. She stayed at the table, chatting and enjoying her dessert. When I returned, she simply smiled and asked if the conversation went well. We did run into a mutual friend of Winifred's recently. He told me that Winifred is still struggling, still convinced that everyone is lying to her. It made me sad for a moment, but then I looked at Elena. Elena is currently pregnant. We found out 3 weeks ago. When she told me, I didn't feel the weight of a duty. I felt a surge of joy. I know that our child will grow up in a house where words are used to build, not to tear down. I learned the hard way that love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice to believe in the person standing next to you. Winifred chose doubt. I chose Elena. And every morning when I wake up to a quiet house and a trusting heart, I know I made the right call. As I sit here today, looking at an ultrasound photo of our baby, I realize that some endings are actually necessary beginnings. Trust is the foundation of everything. Without it, even the longest marriage is just a countdown to a crash. I found my peace, and I found my partner. What are your thoughts on Anthony's story? Do you think Winifred deserved a second chance, or was he right to close that door? If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more dramatic real-life stories. Share your thoughts in the comments below.